Hi, it's Gail the Planning Girl. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to give a little try to making a mini Happy Notes into an address book. And I think I'm going to use some of the materials that you see here. This is a corner rounder. You can get a corner rounder in most craft stores. This is from a company that I used to sell scrapbooking materials for, Creative Memories. I love this corner rounder. I have the Productivity sticker book. I think this was the first Productivity sticker book. I have the Yellow Student sticker book from last year. This is not the new yellow one. This is the former Purple student book as well. I have the Wrong Mini Happy Notes. This is the one I'm planning to use for my address book. I have a couple of sheets of fabric paper. This is from Jolene's Boutique. I pulled it out of a bigger pack from my crafting room. And this is a heavier weight designer series paper. It's not quite cardstock, but it's a little thicker than the typical paper. And this is from Stampin' Up. And again, this is from my card making stock. And this is my current address book. I bought this address book years ago from Hallmark. It was 17 bucks. And I remember thinking that $20 was a lot of money. I've had this address book for all 25 years. My husband and I have been married. And I really wouldn't have to change it. There's really nothing necessarily wrong with this address book. It hasn't been ruined by spills or anything like that. I like it. I think it's pretty. I actually just pulled those pages out to try something. But over the years, people have moved, and I've always written in pencil. But over the years, people have moved, and I've erased and changed and erased and changed. And some of the address spaces are getting really ruined from all those erasures. And because it is spiral bound, you really can't pull stuff out. Although you see, I did just pull that out. I was testing the size. So let me tell you what I'm doing. For an address book, first of all, let me yank this off. For an address book, you need the A to Z tabs. Now, I don't have lots of contacts, so I don't necessarily need 26 tabs. And actually, I think I could probably get by with these 3 tabs here, but that would be kind of weird. Suppose I do get a contact that has a letter, I could always add it. So one of the things I was thinking I would do is tear out the existing tabs. So I could do that, and I was doing that kind of a business. That's not attractive, and it's too big. But my brain was telling me I could cut this, and I could punch it. Let me get my cutter and my punch. So if I cut this off, it just so happens that my current address book is the right size for the mini. So I'm gonna cut that sucker off and slip it into my punch. I want to make sure it's fairly centered. Whoops, and I just scooched it. I want you to be able to see, but I don't have the hand strength to punch it with one hand. So this is what I could do. I could do this with mine. It's a tiny bit short, but I could do this. And ta-da, there's A. And then skip a couple pages and do B, etc. And honestly, I'm leaning towards that for 2 reasons. One, this is thicker paper. The tab is already there. It's sort of plasticky. There's nothing wrong with my inserts. I would have enough of them. So that's one of the reasons. Another reason that I'm leaning towards doing that is it'll be quick and easy. But something else that you could do is to find some heavier weight paper. That's what this is. And I'm going to have to cut it. I like this particular sheet. It's double-sided. This is what's on the back. And I don't have my 12-inch cutter down here. So you could just cut it. I'm just going to do a rough cut so I can have a nice straight edge in my cutter. I should have brought up my 12-inch cutter. That way I could have measured instead of done this eyeballing business. But what I really want, it looks like it goes right to the edge. I need that tab to be in there. So here's something else I was thinking. Instead of the tab being in there, which if I were careful, I could make a little circle and make a little circle and then cut that. But let's talk about tabs. What could you use for a tab? So let me show you something. Let me get this out of the way. But anyhow, the cardstock, if it were a thicker cardstock, it would work. I would say the weight of these is about the same, but if you notice, there is like some laminate. I suppose I could put a piece of tape there, but let's talk about how to make your own tab, and that's where these books come in. And you don't have to necessarily have a student book either. I just happened to flip through the student book to see if there were tabs and discovered these. So I probably won't use a Get It Done, but what I could do is cut off this Get It Done business, leave myself an edge like you see here, and make myself a tab by either laying this down and having the tab be this thick and putting a second sticker on the back to back it up. That would give it a little more strength and thickness and fullness. Or I could create my tab in this manner and fold it over onto itself, which is usually what I do at school. And now I have a tab. And it's okay. It's not, you know, super thick. It's not as sturdy as one of the laminating things, but it would work. And then I could slip it in my puncher here. This seems longer. Ugh, I should have stood for that. And so let's say that's A. This could be B. And it works. And now all I have to do is get a sticker, and I have alphabet stickers in here. This is actually going to be A because I may not use the other book. And just so I can see it on this side as well, I'm going to put an A on this side as well. So now I've made my own tab. And again, I don't have any A contacts, so I could either put one piece of paper in here for future or leave it alone and still have all 26. And as I made these and I cut the pages, I would take my next piece and I would lay it against here, and I would see and put my B tab and then C, D, E, and so on and so forth. Let me show you some other places you can find tabs. In this yellow student book, this is actually the page I marked. I thought I would use these as my tabs because they're just rectangles, they're plain, and I could put one here on the edge and then put another one behind it. Actually, those are a little narrow, so they may not work as well. But I did mark that. Here's another idea for tabs. In the productivity, the first productivity, there are these circles. These you could back up against each other as well. If you took, but you'd only have 1, 2, 3 worth, you know. But if you had other circles, you could put the circle here like so, and then that would be decorative. And then put another circle on the back. So you can be inventive and make your own tabs. It's possible. I really do like the idea, though, of cheating and just tearing these out. And they're fun. There's B, there's C, the stripes. Then we're back to the polka dots. And I think that it kind of goes too. Pretty cool, huh? So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do just yet, but I do know I want to play around with it. And when I'm finished, I can add in the addresses of my family and friends. And if they move, I can just tear the paper out and put in a fresh sheet and not worry about erasing again and again and again. And that's what I really love about this particular system, is that the discs will allow me to tear one out. I could probably fit 3 contacts per page, and I would only write on the right side. I wouldn't write on the left side. But maybe I will just do 2. Or I have so few contacts in my book, probably about 50 contacts, that I could very easily put 1 contact per page. And that would actually be nice, because some of my cousins that are in my contacts, or like my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, you know, I could write down all the children's name, all the kids' birth dates, and all the anniversaries right here in my book. So if I were to do that, let me show you what that might look like. So for example, you know, I could write our last name, comma, and then our first names. I have my husband, and then I could do married, and then the anniversary. And then I could do the children, you know, and the date. That kind of thing. I know, for example, under my older, and of course we would have the address and phone numbers. I could do, you know, I could do a work phone, I could do a home phone, and I could do a cell phone type of thing. I know in my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, I know that at one point I must have written down that her favorite flower was tulips. Not that I've forgotten that, but I probably didn't forget because I wrote it down. And of course, I don't want to fill in all this information. This is the internet. But you get the gist. It would be the last name and the first name, the address, the city, state, and zip, married to whomever, and the wedding date, and the kids' names and birth dates, and then phone numbers. So, and that would very easily, you know, flip the next page and do the next contact. And then, you know, oh, this person moved. Okay, I'm going to tear out this page and toss it away and start again with their new address. So that's the plan. Okay, so let me show you what I did. I went off camera and I found 2 more sheets of the Jolene's Boutique fabric paper, because I thought that these 2 corresponded well. There's the butterflies and then just the flowers. I cut enough sheets to the right size. This is, it's 7 inches long, and this was 4, not quite 4 3/4. I didn't count the 16ths, I just eyeballed where the line was. And then I decided to round the top corner with my corner rounder. So I did that for all of these. And now I'm ready to punch them and make the tabs, and I will put together my book. So I'm not gonna be a big fat cheater and use this, even though, you know, I thought about it. Yeah, I'm gonna tear the rest of this out. Oh dear. So that was a, is it even worth it putting this back? No, because it's not even gonna fit. We're gonna have to throw it out. So let me set this off to the side. And I'm gonna punch all of these, and I'll show you how that works in the end. I'm also incorporating these as well. That one's already punched. Must have been my example. Don't forget to pull the little rubbery guy off the bottom and empty after you punch all that, and it just snaps back on. Easy peasy. You set him back where he goes. Okay, next is tabs. So I want to incorporate the 3 originals As among these, I'm gonna stick with this idea. And that idea came out of the student. I have the window open, so we might hear cars. Although it's Sunday night, you'd think that there wouldn't be very many, but there might be. The window's open because it rained earlier and it's hot and stuffy. We don't have the air conditioning on yet. Let me set this in here. So if this was A, right about here should be B. Good. And the letters also came out of this student book. I need 2 B's. And already I can see there's going to be a problem because I only have 1 T. Maybe I'll switch up the letters as well. Okay, so there's A, B. I'm going to now use this fabric one since he's right here on top. And find my tabs. Maybe I will just try to speed this up as quickly as I can. Or I'll fade out. We'll see. All right, that's fun. The tabs are safe and hidden. I suppose I could put like a piece of tape. You know what I was thinking of doing is going through my quotes and finding a quote, because on these ones, I have quotes, and it would be kind of fun to find quotes. So to finish up, here's my address book. A, I don't have any A's. B, C, I have some C's. D, E, I have a couple of E's. F's, G, I have a couple of those. The H is the original divider, one of those. I, J, a couple of those. K, I should have put that there. That's all right. L is an original. M, I have a lot of those. N, O, PQ is the original. I have a couple of those. R, ST, I know to flip through my books and find more of the right font. I have a couple of those. UV, a couple of those. And XYZ. I have probably several Z's, but then there's spare paper. I'd like to add one more little something to this planner idea. I know I went through and I showed you all the parts, but I bought these mini metal discs, so I'm going to use them. Now, look at that color. Isn't that great? And I have all this extra paper. I'm gonna slip in my drawer to use as needed. Nice. Hey, thanks for joining me. Please do leave a comment if you change up the idea, if you better the idea and improve upon the idea. I would love to see your creations. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.